Hello and thank you for joining us on Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I'm Najaa Tijani. Remember, you can stream all our broadcasts live on YouTube, and you can also follow us on all our social media handles. Now, the screening of aspirants for the All Progressives Congress governorship, Senate and House of Representatives continues in Abuja, with high expectations for a hitch-free party primary. Salihu Gwanara reports.
As they make their way into the waiting room, aspirants were subjected to the first round of verification of presenting all payment details before they were directed to the designated panel for proper screening behind closed doors, while some were seen sitting down patiently before they were called upon. Others were up standing, cashing on the opportunity to rub minds with their political allies. Those screened shared their experiences.
I also had a few questions to ask me, and I believe I will take my time properly to answer the questions. And it was cordial, it was friendly.
You can see well articulate, very much organized, professionals who are brought in to conduct, the screening.
The screening exercise is being done simultaneously for governorship, Senate, and House of Representatives aspirants. In Abuja, Salihu Gwanara, NTA News.
The national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Ayu, has reaffirmed the commitment of the party to ensuring fairness to all aspirants in all the internal processes ahead of the 2023 general elections. The promise was made in Abuja at a meeting to conclude plans for the party's primaries. Timothy Yusuf reports.
This meeting is centered on making plans ahead of the People's Democratic Party's primary elections, scheduled for 28 and 29 of May 2022, with the PDP throwing open its presidential ticket for all aspirants amid calls that the ticket be zoned to the south. The party has constituted a 3-member committee to plan and organize the special national convention, and headed by former President of the Senate, David Mark.
I urge you all to continue with the same enthusiasm to resolve differences within the party among ourselves.
Some party members believe that the PDP is already delivering on its commitment to fairness from the just concluded screening of aspirants.
It's the greatest clearance the People's Democratic Party can give people to qualify them for election. It's even far, far better than the provincial certificate that we are giving. And it's a good thing that is happening.
The PDP was in power between 1999 and 2015 when it lost election to the All Progressives Congress, APC. Timothy Yusuf, NT News.
Meanwhile, a governorship aspirant under the umbrella of the All Progressives Congress, APC, in Benue State, Mr. Matthias Boan, has embarked on a consultative visit to the Benue State executive members of the party, saying he will industrialize the state and transform it into a mega city if supported to fly the party's tickets in the forthcoming primary elections. Iverian Solomon reports.
In his manifesto to the state party executives, the governorship aspirant described the APC as the only party that can bring succor and better the lives of Benue people. He says if supported to clinch the party's ticket, he will run an all-inclusive government and provide basic amenities in the state. He further says he will attract foreign partners to revive the moribund industries in the state and establish new ones to tackle unemployment.
Our oranges, they are wasting in the state. We have to put a orange processing factory, mango processing factory to squeeze our juice and sell and make money. Our yams, they are wasting here. We put a yam processing plant, which will be producing not less than 50,000 bags of yam flour in the state, which even at the price of 5,000, every month we are sure of generating 7 billion naira.
The state deputy chairman of APC, Stephen Tav, who stood in for the chairman, described Mr. Buwan as a humble and respectable personality who has proven over the years to be a worthy son of Benue State. He advised him to go about his consultations peacefully.
The humility in you is par excellence. Very simple, so simple, and you respect elders.
Earlier, Mr. Buwan had commissioned his campaign team and inaugurated his campaign office. The APC governorship primaries will hold on the 20th of May 2022 in Makudi, Iverin Solomon, NTA News.
Now, the cog in the wheel of rapid development in Nigeria is associated with the neglect of infrastructure at the local government level in most states of the Federation. Emmanuel Akila reports that this is part of the findings of members of the Senior Executive Course 44 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies.
5 days of study tour of Gombe State. Participants of the Senior Executive Course 44 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies have reported to the governor. The concern of the state helmsman is the implementation of the report, not just for it to be part of the document that will be kept in the shelves.
The effect of the insurgency and global warming and desertification bordering the north naturally tends to take us closer to the Niger Republic and the Sahara Desert. That is the situation. But I know you do justice to what you've come to do. But on the whole, what I will urge us to do is to make sure and to plead with you that when you make up your report, please take them on the side of implementation. Don't just go and pile them and stock them somewhere else.
This is an assignment that has given to the group by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has identified a very critical problem with our local government areas. And we are going to report exactly what we have seen and make our recommendations to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria about what is happening.
The theme for the Senior Executive Course 44 is Strengthening Local Governance, Challenges, Options and Opportunities. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Sokoto State has declared a 24-hour curfew. Dalhat Abdullahi reports that this is to forestall further breakdown of law and order.
The declaration of the 24 hours curfew was equal to demonstrations staged by groups of youth at different locations within the metropolis in relation to the sad occurrence at the College of Education Sokoto last Thursday. The curfew became necessary as the demonstrations later turned violent, leading to breakdown of law and order within Sokoto metropolis.
By the powers of Section 176(2) of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and Section 1 and 4 of the Public Order Act, and also Section 15 of Sokoto State Peace Preservation Law, I hereby declare curfew within the metropolis of Sokoto Township for the next 24 hours. I appeal to the good people of Sokoto State to kindly continue to observe law and order and calm down the restiveness that is currently pervading in the metropolis, and that everyone should please, in the interest of peace, go back home and observe these measures.
The curfew takes immediate effect. And Sokoto, Dalhat Abdullahi, NTA News.
Still on security, the Nigerian Navy ship Delta under the Central Naval Command has apprehended 6 suspects and intercepted 7 trucks laden with illegally refined petroleum products. The commander, NNS Delta, Commodore Abdulhamid Baba Inna, warned perpetrators of economic sabotage to steer clear as the law will indeed catch up with them. Ebinimizit Minyola reports.
A joint effort by the special military operations in keeping the nation's waterways free from criminal elements and protection of lives and the vast oil and gas resources is recording more success. The recent is the arrest of 7 trucks laden with 160,000 liters of illegally refined petroleum products and stolen crude in sack bags and compartments. Briefing journalist, Commander Nigerian Navy ship Delta, Commodore Abdulhamid Baba Inna said 6 suspects involved in the act were also arrested.
It is an activity that the federal government frowns at. If you are leasing out your truck or giving it out on hire, ensure you check and know what those trucks are meant for. This kind of truck carrying these products gets involved in an area where there's so much traffic. I mean, the disaster there is something that one cannot comprehend.
The commander warned truck owners not to use their trucks for illegality and called on perpetrators to desist. As with the combined efforts of the Naval Headquarters, Operation Delta Safe, Dakata Dabarabu and Autopos Grip, there will be no hiding place for economic saboteurs. Ebinimi Zitemiola, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian Police Force has presented a cheque of about 183 million naira to families of officers and men who paid the supreme price in the line of duty. The cheques were presented by the Inspector General of Police as death benefit during the launch of a 3-day capacity building workshop for police insurance desk officers in Abuja. Francis Fong reports.
The pain that comes with losing a breadwinner is better imagined than experienced. But for these ones, they are on the side of experiencing it. Quite unfortunate. These are families of deceased officers and men who died in the battlefield. Dying in the battlefield is one thing. Getting the death benefit by family members is also another moment of grave struggle. For IGP Usman Alkali Baba, that is now history. So weep no more. 40 checks presented to different categories of bereaved families.
The Nigerian police insurance is strong and mightier than before, that they give as fast as possible.
Better days are ahead in relation to the timely resolution of claims and benefits, according to next of kin of injured or diseased police officers, as well as other welfare schemes to serving members of the force.
Lack of requisite skills by the insurance desk officer is a major hindrance in the payment of such benefits, but that is also being addressed. The leadership of the Nigeria Police Force is building the capacity of insurance desk officers.
We feel it wiser to bring them down, sensitize them, educate them, so that they too will go back and educate those who are working under them in order to bring closer this next of kins.
Established 30 years ago to cater for the welfare of police personnel who are either retired or have sustained injuries in the line of duty. This is the first time the Nigeria Police Force is enhancing the capacity of its insurance desk officers. Francis from NTA News.
Thank you, Francis. Over now to Adiola in Lagos for more reports from that zone. Over to you, Adiola.
Thank you, Nadia. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has again reiterated the Army's resolve to improve personnel's capacity and be combat ready, especially in this period of heightened insecurity. Lynn Lenake reports that the Army Chief made the remark at the 2022 RSM's convention in Lagos.
The Nigerian Army has continued to record successes in its various engagements across the country. This feat is largely sustained by training and retraining of personnel to ensure more victories. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, urged participants to make optimal use of the opportunity to improve their professional knowledge in evolving security environment while maintaining sanity in the barracks.
Training is key element in everything we do. Now more so in the military profession, particularly for the army. That's why I'll attach a lot of importance to it. One of the four cardinal principles of my command philosophy is training, because there is no alternative to training. We continue to train and improve on what we do.
This regimented Sergeant Major's convention is targeted at this as well. It is aimed at enhancing their capacity in line with global best practices.
The overall essence is to improve our competencies, see areas, see gaps, and now come up with modalities of how to address them. And that's what we are doing, and that's what is accounting for some of the success we are having in areas of our operations.
Regimented Sergeant Major's conference drew participants from the western zone of the military formations. In Lagos, Lane Lenake, NTA News.
Now let's talk about safety on our roads. Beyond the realization of its core mandate of promoting safe motoring on the nation's highways, the Federal Road Safety Corps is on a quest to renew its legacy as a professional, disciplined, and non-gratification-seeking paramilitary organization. Some of the recommendations made at the one-day quarterly zonal retreat in Lagos include attitudinal change, enforcement of extant regulations, and establishment of an enduring interactive platform for stakeholders. Adeniyi Taiwo reports.
With one of the busiest corridors in the country as it beats, the Lagos Ogun State Zonal Command of the Federal Road Safety Corps has its job well cut out and always on the radar of the motoring public who expect the agency to deliver on its mandate on and off season. The zone is therefore a suitable staging area for needed reforms in the commission as it seeks to fortify its glory. In a lecture on the theme, Towards Improving Productivity and Customer Satisfaction, Lagos State Director of National Orientation Agency, Waheed Ishola, harped on the need for collective ethical revolution that is built around national core values, including patriotism, dignity of labor, discipline, and social justice.
It is not for FRSC alone. The clients, the public, who are customers of FRSC, must also show their willingness to comply with those rules.
The Zonal Commanding Officer, Assistant Corps Marshal Peter Kibo, noted that the retreat is part of FRSC's human capacity building mechanisms targeted at enhancing the performance of the personnel.
We want to tell them the importance of attitude, how you approach, how you interact with your customers is very, very important. It's very significant to the achievement of the goals of federal road safety.
We talk to ourselves on ethics, professionalism, integrity, and so on. So this is just a reminder for us to do even more.
Product of every retreat that we have done in the past is a reflection of what you see in the society about the performance geared towards the vision of FRSC, which is to reduce road traffic crashes on our roads.
The retreat drew participants from units and state commands from Lagos and Ogun State. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
The news button will now leave Lagos to Port Harcourt. But do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng or live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. To stay on, Nationwide will continue in a moment.
And welcome to Port Harcourt. The National Youth Council is advocating the sealing of a partnership pact with the youth to ensure that their potential and vibrancy are effectively utilized for enhanced national productivity. President, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Solomon Adodo, made this assertion in Calabar at the 2022 South-South Youth Summit on the theme, Youth Partnership for Regional Development. Justin Item reports.
As the 2023 general elections closes in, with electioneering process gradually taking shape, many people are lending their voices to ensure that the essence of leadership is brought to bear after the 2023 general elections. In this South-South Youth Summit, President of National Youth Council of Nigeria says 2023 general elections should not be viewed as business as usual, maintaining that the energy that will propel Nigeria to an industrial revolution lies in the hands of its vibrant youth.
As young Nigerians, we are very innovative, we are very hardworking, we are committed and patriotic. We are ready to build a better Nigeria. In the quest for leadership, we should ask ourselves, what is the essence of getting a new leadership? And that essence is for development to thrive.
To ensure inclusiveness in elective positions, members of the National Youth Council of Nigeria advised the youths to unite and speak with one voice while getting their permanent voter cards to vote the right persons into power.
Today we are gathered to really dissect, mirror ourselves, and look at what our region will look like if we are involved in partnership. Before now, we used to put ourselves together and form organizations and go and beg them to represent us. I feel very proud these days that they come to us. And all those who do not come to us, their party will not nominate them.
One person was inducted into the Youth Hall of Fame, while others were also honored in recognition of their contributions to the development of the youth. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
The electioneering period offers political office holders platform to engage the electorate in order to win their votes. Concerned stakeholders are calling on the electorate to ask relevant questions and how they intend to execute these programs for better governance. Kingsley Amajiri reports.
The electioneering period offers the platform for engagement between political office seekers and the electorate. Expectedly, those jostling to occupy public offices are offering themselves to be elected with promises of development programs and action plans.
As you are seeking the people's mandate, even the mandate of the delegate, you need to show to them in concrete terms, what you are going to do.
From security, education, healthcare to economy, power, among other areas of needs, concerned stakeholders insist should provide platforms for the electorate to ask relevant questions on how these office seekers intend to meet these expectations.
We need to deepen it. We need to have more and more participation of the people, the women, the youth. They should get more and more involved and ensure that we ask relevant questions.
Proponents insist that if Nigerians want real development, the electorate must rise to the occasion and actively participate in the process while making informed decisions on who they elect as their next set of leaders. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
And that's it from Port Harcourt. Is now back to Abuja with Najatu.
To our Abuja studios, 15th May is marked as the International Day of the Family, to focus on the family, the major building block of the society. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to observe the day, Elizabeth Omori looks at the challenges being faced by the family and while proffering possible solutions.
The voice of a new life on which every family is built. The family, philosophers say, is the foundation of life, propelled by two individuals, the mother and father. The Okokos, a typical family everyone would desire. It is not a question of the shelter, but the individuals. Many live in shanties, while others are comfortable in their cozy spaces. These groups have one goal: living to make positive impact. Taking a cue from this year's theme, of the International Day of Family, urbanization is one of the most important megatrends.
You have nowhere with her to pay their school fee, to clothe them, to even provide meals for them. You are telling the children to go into the street and survive.
If I leave my village, I will go to the town, I will get what I want, and my parents will be happy and the rest. And in that process, you don't know, you go and join a bad group.
Sustaining healthy homes for a healthy nation requires interventions. In Nigeria, several initiatives are put in place to meet the needs of families. For example, the homegrown school feeding program, conditional cash transfer, trader money, just to mention a few, lack of respect for traditions and cultures, and peer pressure. Respondents posit are the main causes of family breakdown.
The mother and the husband join their heads together, they can bring out a good family.
A situation where a child does a wrong thing, he must be, told this is a wrong thing. But where you allow such wrongs to continue unabated, without any correction, he sees it as a normal thing. He grew up with it.
Girl's image of herself, her self-worth is either built or destroyed by the relationship with her father. The boy looks up to the father, and so it helps the boy in building character. A lot of parents will give a very good, sound moral values to their children 15 years when she or he admitted to university in 15 days. In fact, in 15 minutes, she will be spoiled, or he will be spoiled by testing the drugs or by committing into adultery. This is a reality.
Inculcating good values in the younger generation, they believe, will help shape thoughts, opinions, and behavioral patterns. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
And in the spirit of the day, 30 families in distress are to be empowered by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development. The Minister, Sadiya Umar Farouk, in a statement, notes that the effort is to uplift the lives of families as the world marks the Day of the Family, in line with the Ministry's goal of improving the living standard of families, especially the poor and vulnerable. The Minister wants Nigerians to mobilize massively and dedicate this year's celebration to finding lasting solutions to challenges affecting the survival and proper development of families. Sadiya Farouk urges families to play their mandatory role of monitoring activities of their children and wards to safeguard them from being used by unscrupulous individuals to commit crimes. Asma will now give us a situation report on the curfew in Sokoto. Hello, Asma'u.
Hello, Naja'atu. Good evening and welcome to Sokoto on Nationwide. The 24 hours curfew imposed by Sokoto State Government to curtail spread of civil unrest in the metropolis has yielded positive impact in maintaining law and order. Sheikh Muhammad Dati has the situation report.
When NTA News went around the metropolis, most of the streets were barricaded with security operatives doing a stop and search simultaneously. Major commercial areas like the Sokoto Central Market, fish and vegetables were also under lock and key. During yesterday's protest, however, there was partial destruction of some shops, vehicles and other structures at some of the hotspots. All the areas are now under control of security agents. There is high presence of armed security at the Sultan Palace to ensure maintenance of law and order. Meanwhile, the Catholic Bishop of Sokoto, Matthew Hassan Kuka, has in a statement commended Sokoto State Government for their prompt action and the security agencies for rising to the occasion to prevent further escalation of the situation. The statement also says, contrary to speculations, the residence of Bishop Kuka was not burnt. He further called for calm and prayers for peace to return. In the meantime, public and private schools scheduled to resume on Monday, 16th May, after the second term break, have been asked to resume next week, Monday, 22nd, except for students sitting for WAEC examinations. The curfew was enforced to forestall further breach of law due to the development at the Shehu Shagari College of Education, Sokoto, where a female student lost her life for alleged blasphemy on the Prophet of Islam. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Datti, NTA News.
The need for synergy between stakeholders for a successful implementation of basic health care provision in Kebbi State has been stressed. This was at a one-day orientation program for stakeholders in healthcare delivery in Birnin Kebbi. Hassana Abubakar Kuko reports.
The Deputy General Manager, Information Sector Division, National Health Insurance Scheme, Salauddin Sikiru, explains that the overall aim of the Basic Healthcare Provision Fund is to move Nigeria towards achieving universal health coverage. He said the scheme has organized capacity building for the State Oversight Committee members and the State Social Health Insurance Agency board members to provide support for peaceful implementation of the program.
Something that belongs to the federal government. And no thanks to the act that established NHI, that make NHI or health insurance in the country optional or non-mandatory.
The State Commissioner for Health, Jafar Mohammed, who lauded the efforts of the federal and state government, said the program aims to cater for the less privileged in the society, especially women and children under the age of 5. He appealed to vulnerable people in the state to enroll into the program.
For the last year enrollment, we were able to see the impact of the but the federal government, the government, and the vulnerable people were able to benefit from the fund.
The Executive Secretary, Kebbi State Contributory Healthcare Management Agency, Kechema, Jafar Muhammad Augi, said 22,602 enrollees are benefiting from the program, with 3,370 pregnant women. Other speakers at the event stressed the need for adequate sensitization at the grassroots level to ensure more people registered. They, however, called on well-to-do individuals to complement government's effort by assisting the less privileged in the society to be enrolled. Hassana Abubakar Koko, NTA News.
You can follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and our YouTube channel, NTA News Online. You can also visit our Twitter at NTA News Now, our Facebook page, NTA Network News, and Instagram, NTA Network, for updates. And that's it from here. We'll take a short break, and Nationwide continues in Benin afterwards. Please stay.
Thank you for staying tuned. Governor Godwin Obaseki has blamed the increasing rate of drug abuse in Edo State to the lingering strike action by university lecturers. This is as he appeals to ASU and the federal government to find a common ground in the interest of the youths. This was while taking a review of the state's security situation in the last 3 months. Agatha Egwarojo reports.
The review came following a joint security meeting between the state government and representatives of various security agencies in Edo, giving a record of drug abuse cases in February to be 19, 34 in March, and 23 in April. Governor Obaseki says drug abuse is now the number 2 issue of concern in the state.
We've now seen incidents of homicide. Actually, there's a rise in the incident of homicide from 22 in March to 35 in April. That is a cause of concern, and as the service chiefs will also explain, some of the factors driving this high incidence of homicide have to do with community clashes, issues of land disputes, headspend clashes, and some have regular headspend clashes.
The Security Council also reviewed incidents of kidnapping and other social vices. Commissioner of Police says measures are in place to improve on the security architecture of the state.
I can assure you that we continue to improve. Edo is safer now, free for business, free for tourism and enterprise.
In Benin, Agatha Egwari Uju, NTA News.
And in other news, 45 youths of Edo State have been empowered in their choice of career. It is by the Nigeria-German Cooperation Center in the state. Angliokolo reports that the trainees were presented startup tools to aid them on the journey of self-reliance.
The cost-free program is geared towards reducing unemployment and illegal migration among Nigerian youths. They were engaged for 4 weeks and then a startup kit to commence their business. They were trained on car tracking, electrical fence, solar installation, among others. It is the organizers' way of giving back to society.
The purpose of this training is to actually empower youths in the environment so that they will be able to fend for themselves.
Some of the participants stood for its sustenance.
It has really empowered my life. At the end of the day, we were given a certificate and a startup kit actually gave us money for transport to learn something that will benefit us. So that at first shocked me.
This is the 4th edition of the program, which holds twice a year. In Benin, Anwulu Okolo, NTA News.
And the baton returns to Abuja. Naja.
Thank you, Ugo Chukwuka. Back to security matters now. The Nigerian army says the number of surrendered Boko Haram fighters and their families is now more than 51,000 and counting, with all being held in 3 different camps within Borno State, which has suffered the most from devastation caused by the protracted conflict. The commander, 7th Division Garrison Maiduguri, Brigadier General Abubakar Haruna, gave this update during an interaction with members of Senior Course 44, National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, led by the Director General, Professor Ayo Omotayo, as part of their study tour to Borno State. Mohammed Ibrahim reports.
The focus of the Senior Executive Force 44, as directed by the Presidency, is enhanced ways of strengthening local governance in Nigeria, which can only be achieved where security is guaranteed. The Army says sustained counterinsurgency operations by the country's military and paramilitary forces, supported by local vigilantes, led to not only the degrading of Boko Haram insurgents, but unprecedented massive surrender of fighters, while remnants engage in attacks on soft targets.
Recently, the Cameroon Defense Forces and troops of 71 conducted operations in the Sambisa Forest and the Mandara Mountain axis in a combined effort to secure our border areas in the Republic of Cameroon.
The Institute acknowledged improvement of security with resettlement of hitherto displaced communities in Borno State and assured to recommend policies to facilitate disarmament, de-radicalization and reintegration of the former fighters and further restoration of civil authority at the grassroots.
It will go a long way in helping Borno to further realize its own potentials and be able to set developmental agenda that will take it even beyond this particular period.
The delegation also embarked on an on-the-spot assessment to Magumeri local government area, where the council chairman, Dr. Ali Yaomi, highlighted achievements recorded through collaboration with federal and state governments, as well as NGOs in provision of basic amenities to returnee communities, and called for intervention and more funding. Other inputs for the policy researchers came from Borno Eminate Council, the organized labor and civil societies. In Maiduguri, Muhammad Ibrahim, NTA News.
Okay. Now, the Interagency Consultative Committee involving all security agencies and political parties has met in Ado-Ekiti to re-strategize for a peaceful governorship election in Ekiti State come June 18th. Adogbeji Ojegban reports.
Meeting, which had representatives of the various political parties and security agencies in attendance, is to brainstorm on security issues and challenges associated with the conduct of free, fair and credible elections in Ekiti State come next month. INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner and the State Commissioner of Police urged the candidates and their supporters to run objective and issue-based campaigns for a successful election.
So we want to use this opportunity to remind the various political parties on provisions, that's the stipulations of the Electoral Act.
The political key players will come together and have a kind of formidable team.
The forum afforded participants the opportunity to air their views.
So we need to protect the image of Ekiti and ensure that we have a successful election.
But I believe if we change, a better thing can happen to us in Ekiti.
The Interagency Consultative Committee is an informal mechanism where stakeholders come together to exchange views and information on the forthcoming election. In Ado-Ekiti, Adogbeji Ojegba, NTA News.
2 persons have been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency (NDLEA) for attempting to export 1,000 tablets of 200 milligrams of tramadol and 6.65 kilograms of ecstasy, MDMA and cannabis sativa bound for Milan in Italy and Dubai, United Arab Emirates through the Murtala Muhammad International Airport, Lagos. In a related development, no fewer than 203,879 tablets of various pharmaceutical opioids and illicit substances have been seized in raids conducted in Abia, Kaduna, Yobe and Kogi states, with the NDLEA adding that it has arrested 5 members of a syndicate conducting fake recruitment into security agencies in coordinated operations in Zamfara, Kebbi and Bauchi states. The syndicate is alleged to have specialized in issuing fake NDLEA employment letters and identity cards to unsuspecting members of the public for a fee of 400,000 naira per person. After years of waiting, Ondo and Ekiti states are to enjoy improved electricity supply as the federal government clears all hindrances, delaying the completion and inauguration of a new substation in Akure. Joshua Ujito reports.
Akure, the capital city of the Sunshine State of Ondo, is said to be in dire need of electricity supply, as it relies only on the old 132 kV substation that supplies Ondo and Ekiti states through Oshogbo substation. Federal government intervenes and now a new 330 kV substation constructed. 2 years after completion, the Akure 330 kV substation is yet to be energized. Transmission lines from Oshogbo and Ihovo in Edo State to link the substation yet to be completed due to issues of right-of-way with communities along the power line. State government stepped in and contractors now back to site with 5 months deadline to deliver the project. On the mandate of the Power Minister, Abubakar Aliyu, the Executive Director, Transmission Service Provider of TCN, Victor Adewumi, is in Akure to keep contractors on their toes to deliver the project for inauguration this year.
What we are trying to do now is to redesign the source. There is an old line from Benin to Shobo. So that line is not too far from here. So we want to break into that line, turn it in and out. That's what we are doing now. And we believe in the next 4 to 5 months that line should be ready. And when that line is ready, we use to power the substation and we commission it.
This substation can evacuate a total of about maximum of 240 megawatts.
When energized, the substation will boost electricity supply in Ondo and Ekiti states, leading to improved socio-economic activities of the 2 states. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Trade promotion agencies in Nigeria are being more proactive in promoting indigenous goods and services in line with federal government stance on non-oil exports. Comfort Amadou reports on the strategies adopted by the trade agencies.
For the Nigerian government, it is imperative for Nigerians to produce and export to emerging markets, beginning from Africa. To boost its investment and export strategy, the government has been introducing key reforms and policies to ensure efficiency in trade facilitation.
To boost non-oil export, the Federal Executive Council just approved the sum of 375 billion naira as export expansion grant. And that means the backlog from 2006 to date has been cleared. And of course, about 285 exporters are beneficiaries of that EEG as at now.
We are equally establishing inland dry ports to bring shipping nearer to the hinterland shippers. They can do all the formalities in a dry port in Kano in terms of consolidation, in terms of labeling, and even sealing the containers.
For a nation that is strengthening the capacity of its exporters to expand non-oil export, awareness is imperative, and the trade promotion agencies and sectors are working the talk.
Taking advantage of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement that has huge potential in terms of market access opportunity for Nigerian goods and services.
Whereby we target specific countries that have, over the years, affiliation with Nigeria. They're interested in doing business in Nigeria. They have means of encouraging their countries to come and invest in Nigeria.
For the trade promoters, the multi-sector approach by the federal government to diversify the nation's economy is gaining traction as Nigerians' non-oil revenue has grown beyond the set target by 15.7%. In Abuja, Comfort Amadu, NTA News.
And still on boosting the economy, Cross River State Government is partnering the federal government and the World Bank Appeals Project to sustain the state ultra-modern poultry farm by frequently distributing poultry input to cluster farms in Udupani local government area of the state. Paul Abel reports.
Is the Cross River State ultra-modern poultry farm, and the inputs in form of training and distribution of 40,000 day-old chicks to clusters of poultry farmers are being nurtured in this controlled environment to supply the 24,000 birds per day poultry processing factory, also known as Kalachika.
Been able to provide us with the right level of technologies to boost our practice, our production. Pelletized feeds, quality day-old chicks, nipple-fitted drinkers. A cluster of technologies have been introduced.
The inputs we are using is from the support of Appeal and World Bank. And the essence of we belonging here is that we produce and then feed the Kalachika factory.
For the state government, this is not the first time it is into partnership to increase productivity and create employment in the value chain.
We have in particular chosen the agricultural programs because we think those are the fastest way of creating jobs and of reaching out to a number of people.
In the whole of the 6 states implementing appeals in Nigeria, Cross River State, the first state to have this clustering a lot of farmers together in one place.
For the partners, reaching out to 1,000 poultry farmers in 4 clusters in the first phase of its intervention is to increase production and improve the livelihood of actors in the value chain.
Our target, the state targeted the numerous youths that are unemployed, and the aim is to teach them how to farm, not just giving them job, and that is what I feel stands for. And one of our trust too is in line with the federal government trust towards achieving food sufficiency, livelihood, which we are doing under women and youth.
Other stakeholders in goodwill messages affirm that the distribution of inputs is a dream come true after a facility inspection by the World Bank Appeals partners in December 2021. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
Up next is Sports Update.